Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a brand new mobile game from Konami. It's called Castlevania Grimoire of Souls. Let's get started. So this game is brand new from Konami. It is on mobile, it's on Android and iOS. Now I'm not certain if it's available broadly yet. They had a soft launch in Canada for this game, and fortunately I live in Canada, so I've been able to try it out. Now this game is a 2D action side-scroller, very similar to many of the Castlevania games that came out before it. So if you are familiar with Castlevania, you should be right at home here, although this is on mobile. On top of that, if you're not familiar with Castlevania, this game is very easy to get into. And this game's also free to play. Now, when I first heard free to play, my initial thoughts were not that good. I was like, oh no, here we go again. Here comes another free-to-play game that is just going to hide stuff behind paywalls, is going to require constant transactions, and it's going to be microtransaction hell. Fortunately, this game is not like that at all. So I've had the chance to play this game a lot over the last week, and I actually really like it. Now there are gems, there are coins in this game, there's rubies. They all do different things, and yes, you can buy. So there is an option to sink some money into this. However, they're super generous with the stuff they give out. Like, look at this sign-in bonus. First day is 1,500 gems, second day 2,000 gold, third day 150 gems. So just by signing in, they're actually very generous to get you started. Now to cut to the chase about the loot system, that's one thing I do want to tackle right off the bat. This is pretty much the extent of it. So they do have these loot crates that you can get items out of, and you will need to get some of these items. You can see on the right side of the screen, just over that way, one crate is 300 gems and 10 crates is 3,000. And in the top right of my screen, you can see I currently have 1.4 thousand gems. And I've opened the crates before. I've used the 3,000 and the 300. And the only good items I got were always out of the 3,000 one. So the 10 one, you can see it's got a 4-star plus guaranteed. That's really the only way to go. So you do have to really save up your gems. And there are 3 categories of chests: weapon just above my head here, sub-weapon, and armor. So my head's kind of covering it there, now you can see it. So those are the 3 that you can choose from. Each will give you different items, different random items. There are a bunch of different characters, so you can't really pick and choose the items that you're trying to roll for. And the prices of these gems, they start at 100 gems for $1.39. One crate is $3.99. That gets you just a little over 300 gems. If you're looking for the 10 crate options, it's going to set you back $34.99. So definitely a huge investment if you are trying to open up a whole bunch of crates. The game is very generous with how many gems it gives you for doing different tasks, for daily activities, things like that. Now, I've currently unlocked 5 characters. I'm not sure if there are more than that, but if you take a look, most of these characters you should be familiar with if you've ever played Castlevania before. The first 2, Alucard and Simon, are 2 of the biggest names in the series. Now, each character plays drastically different, has different abilities, different weapons, and based on that, you can really choose a character to your liking and run with them for the entire game. From my knowledge so far, you don't need a certain character for a different level as long as you're leveling up the character accordingly. Now you can see here there are a bunch of different things that you can choose, different weapons, different sub-weapons, and if you're not sure what weapon to use or what to equip, there's a handy auto-equip button, so you can just select based on the element that you want to use, because there are different elements in this game that weapons have. So you can just select an element that you're looking for, do auto-equip, and it will automatically select your weapons. I actually do this because there's a lot to this game. Now there's also the ability to upgrade and enchant your weapons, unlock new weapons. There's quite a bit of content here, and there are different ways that you can upgrade your weapon. You aren't just stuck with one linear path, I would say. Each sub-weapon has unique properties, unique elements, unique things to do. And as you get stronger, you can make the weapons stronger with you. And if you are planning on leveling up all of your characters, you're going to have to do a lot of grinding. I would say definitely. I use 2 main characters, and even then you can see I'm running out of gems. I don't have a whole lot of these little things to upgrade my characters with. And you also can't buy those gems to upgrade in store. You have to grind for them. So that's also something else to consider. Now, on top of upgrading your weapons, you can also upgrade your character. So you can develop your abilities and pick an ability tree that suits your needs. This is really cool because each little ability tree is a different move. And if you find a move is very good and very suiting for you, you just go ahead and level it up. Now, you gain points by this by completing different quests and missions. So you cannot buy these points in store. You have to grind for them as well. In terms of levels, there's a lot to unlock here. You 3-star every level to get all the benefits and the goodies. And then on top of that, it unlocks, once you've completed everything, another chapter. So I've currently got 4 chapters unlocked. There are more after this. The further you get, then you can also unlock the hard chapters, which are incredibly difficult missions. Now, you can also choose a quest supporter. I quite like this because these are actual characters from other players, and you can choose one that you can control once you build up your meter. There's also a co-op mode as well, so if you've got friends on your friends list, you can create a little room and invite them to do some missions. But this is a lifesaver, the quest supporter. So you can see right now, I've selected someone with 48,000 power, and my power is about 13,000, so they're considerably better than I am. Now, all I have to do is build up my meter in the game, and then I can use their character and take control of it for a little bit during the level. The tutorial is very helpful, so you can see just above me, when in water, you can jump multiple times to kind of swim. It lets you know exactly what to do. I would say the tutorial is very thorough. I am using touch controls, and I find that this game works very well with touch controls. You can use a controller and also custom bind the controls, which is a huge plus. So if you do have a controller, I would say it's definitely the recommended way to play this game, but this game will work just fine with touch controls. So there are 2 types of hazards you have to watch out for. First are environment hazards like spikes or flames or something like that, where you touch them and then they do some damage to you. You also have to worry about enemies. So enemies obviously do quite a bit of damage, but the environment is also something not to be taken lightly. Now, there are a wide variety of enemies. You'll see different enemies in later levels. It's not just the same enemies throughout the game. There is some repetition, but the more you play through the game, the more new things you'll see, which I really appreciate. Now, boss fights, there's one every level, so this really isn't a spoiler. They come and go in different areas. You can use different things. I'm using a special move right now to do a lot of damage. And then shortly here, you can see in the top left, the 2 little arrows. This is where I can swap out for the other player's character, the one that has 40,000, if you remember that. So you can see now all the damage that he's doing compared to what I was doing. So I can take control of their character and use that to help me out. Now, this really helps out if your character is underpowered for certain battles, and is a very quick and easy way to level up. And you can also see that I just 2-starred this level, so I didn't complete the level within the time frame, so I will have to go back and try to do it a little quicker next time. I also ranked up, which you can see gives me additional ether, and I can level up my equipment further. Now, ether is generated by the amount of time you're sitting away from the game. So every time you level up, it's frustrating because you do get a refill of ether, but once that wears down, you have to sit and wait. Now, you can refill ether through gems that you earn in game or gems that you buy. So basically, you could play unlimitedly. It costs you about 5 to 10 ether per level that you want to do. If you have 70 ether, you can do the math to see really how many levels you'll be able to play before you have to sit back and wait for a bit. And in terms of generating ether, you earn about 1 ether every 5 minutes that you're away from the game. Now, there is a story mode, and I'll be honest with you, I usually just skip through it. I don't read too much of the story, so I can't really comment on that. I have not actually read all of the dialogue. I've kind of skipped through it because I've read a little bit of it, and it was a little, I don't know the right word for it, but it was a little wordy and a little dramatic for me. So I wasn't overly interested in the dialogue. To be honest, it's almost like the story mode in a lot of older fighting games. It doesn't really matter too much. Now, sorry, and I do apologize if you are one for playing Castlevania for the story. I play it for the action and for the fun. So I usually just hit that button just above me there that says skip. Now, another multiplayer aspect to this game is the bounty hunt. Now, it's very different than the co-op where you go on a co-op mission with a friend. This is a bounty hunt, so it's 4 people. It takes 4 people, and then you'll destroy a whole bunch of enemies and get a reward at the end of the day. Now, there are seasons to the bounty, so the more you play bounty, the more you level up your character, the more reward you'll get at the end of the season. The next reward is actually tomorrow. It ends tomorrow, October 2nd, so as long as this video goes up on the 1st. But the more you play season, that's really where you're going to get some rewards. Now, you cannot buy these rewards with gems. You need to actually play. Now, you can see there's a counter, how quickly the counter is going down for different enemies. It really doesn't take long to get through all of this. So you can see there's 10 enemies left. Now, in terms of the score, you can see my score on the far left side. I've got 795. Not first place, I'm currently in second. As soon as all of these enemies are defeated, then you face the final boss. Now, I would say your chance of failure here is pretty low. I would say these enemies aren't the strongest. If you don't have the strongest character and you die, someone can revive you. So as long as you have friendly people that you're playing with, which isn't the case all the time, they will revive you if you do die. And on top of this, here's the final boss fight. It's not overly complicated. You'll see how quickly these things die depending on the people you're with. So they're just about to spawn in here, and I give it like 3 seconds before they're all destroyed. So pretty much gone. Yeah, now they're all dead. So it didn't take much time at all. And that's pretty much the bounty hunt. So it's a lot of fun. You just kind of compete to see who can get the highest score. You can kill steal if you want. You can not revive people if you want. It's completely up to you. So I came second here. Now, in terms of my overall verdict on this game, I would say the combat's a lot of fun. There's a variety of enemies. And for free, because I've not spent a dime on this game yet, there's actually surprisingly a lot of content. One of the big things I like about this game is a lot of the rewards you have to earn. You can't just buy them and load up your character in a kind of pay-to-win mentality. Now, you can obviously pay for a whole bunch of chests and open to get the best gear, but at the same time, you still have to grind and beat levels in order to continue to progress in the game and unlock different enchantments and level up your character and your weapon. So for a free game, I would give it 2 thumbs up. In terms of playing this in a paid setting, I would say the gems are very expensive for what you get out of it. So just be very mindful of how many gems you earn versus how many gems you need to buy. So if you are thinking of actually putting some money on this game, just be very mindful of what you're getting out of it and the true value behind it, because there are a lot of opportunities right now to earn gems, and I haven't hit a paywall yet in this game. So I haven't hit a point where I need to pay to progress further. I actually haven't hit any of that yet. So far, my free quest is actually surprisingly a lot of content. If this all there was to the game, I would be very impressed. And I am actually very impressed that Konami put out a game as good as this, and since it's free, I highly recommend checking it out. Anyways, that's all I've got for today. If you liked the video, leave a like. If you didn't like the video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know what you think about this game in the comments below. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you, everyone. Take care.